Hello, and welcome to this November fall edition of A, B to Z, an inside look at Acton and Boxborough. I'm Will McDonald.
And I'm Rohan Manikandan. Here's what's happening around the AB community.
The end of Term 1 is rapidly approaching at the beginning of November. Students are working even harder than before to raise their grades.
On the bright side of things, Thanksgiving break is nearly a month away.
And now we go to a very important public service announcement.
Did you know that studying before a test is proven to increase your grade by 3 to 5% and will boost your confidence? There are many ways to improve your study habits here at AB, including going to Extra Help or the Academic Support Center. Need help with an essay? Stop by the Writing Center found in the library. Here's some tips to improve your study habits. Tip 1. Figure out what conditions you work best in that allow you to focus. Tip 2. Distribute the studying evenly to avoid a buildup of work. Finally, our third tip is to teach others the materials. This is proven to be the best way to retain information. So, next time you have a test or essay, remember these helpful tips.
On what was a chilly night on Friday, October 28th, there was a spike ball tournament held at Lower Fields. And after that, the Acton Boxborough football team played one of their most hated rivals, Concord Carlisle, at Leary Field.
Speaking of the football game, Acton Boxborough recently played one of their most hated rivals and main rivals, Lincoln Sudbury. And prior to the game, we had the opportunity to speak to two of the star players from this team, Jake Mormon and Jack Hashem. We talked to these athletes about how they typically prepare for a football game. Now we go to a news story about the Acton Boxborough football team.
We're standing here in Leary Fields where Acton Boxborough plays its football games. Now we go to an interview with Jake Mormon and Jack Hashem.
We asked Jake Mormon how the football team typically prepares for an upcoming game.
To prepare for a big football game coming up, like against LS, we like to look at a lot of film and look at their offense and defense and try to figure out a way to beat it.
We asked Jack Hashem whether the level of excitement was different during rivalry week or than other weeks.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Like the boys are pumped, ready to go. We've been preparing for this all week. We've been thinking about this game all since last season. You know, we're looking forward to it. Ready to go have some fun out there.
We asked Jack whether the team's level of excitement stayed the same or differed between different games.
I'd say we definitely bring a different level of energy, especially during rivalry week, and we got a home game. You know, it's just different. You know, so I'd say it's a little bit different this time around.
We asked Jake what a typical practice looks like after a win and after a loss.
I would like to say that they wouldn't change because we try to keep the same mentality and hype throughout the whole week. But I mean, obviously, if you're just coming off a loss, it obviously damages the reputation and hype. But as we go through the week, we start to build it up and prepare for the next game.
We asked Jack whether practices before a big game were easier or harder.
Usually we start off the week with we'll have 3 full practices, and Thursday leading up to a Friday night game, we'll just have a simple walkthrough. You know, usually only in helmets to keep our players healthy and reduce injuries before game.
Wow, what great answers from two great football players.
While Term 1 is coming to an end, teachers are already excited and preparing for Term 2.
Oh boy, I remember last year when Term 1 ended. Everyone was so stressed.
Recently, 2 of our classmates, Mark and Shashank, had the privilege to interview the drum band leader, Sohan Pradhan, and his thoughts about the band. We now go to a news story about the Acton Boxborough band.
Today at Acton Boxborough Regional High School on A, B to Z, we're going to be examining the status of the band. The band at AB is one of the staples at the school and has large amounts of resources, large amounts of instruments, a diversity of players, as well as a diversity of other members who do other things in the band. Today we're going to be talking with band leadership, we're going to be talking with band students as well. We're going to be covering band events as well as awards ceremonies that the band has been involved in and awards that the band has actually received. So today we're going to be doing a profile on AB's band on AB to Z. This is Shashank Sastry.
We had the pleasure of catching up with Sohan Pradhan, the band's drum major, and he gave us some insightful thoughts into what it's like to be in band, what it's like to have a leadership role in band, and his favorite parts about being the drum major.
So Sohan, as drum major, what do you see as one of the main advantages to students engaging in band activities?
Well, that's a great question. I think the most important part of this community is that each year the band is still made of the same people, so this is the one class that is consistent, so that really gives you an opportunity, to build better relationships with your peers and build friendships that can last outside of band as well.
How long have you been doing band, and how has it had an impact on your life as a student and as a performer?
I've been doing band for 8 years now. This is going to be my 8th year. And this really gives me a rock in my life. This is the one stable point that I can always go back to. And yeah.
And what do you enjoy about being drum major for AB Band?
I think it's a huge honor to accept awards on our band's behalf. Like when we go to competitions such as MICA, like I'm the one who grabs the awards from the presenters, and it's just a huge honor marching at the front of the band.
Those are some valuable insights from Soham Pradhan, the band's drum major. In all, it's been our pleasure to make this piece. Mark and I have learned so much about the band's members, as well as their amazing community overall, and the amazing leadership who keeps it running every single day. We hope that you have enjoyed this piece, Mark, and I hope that you've enjoyed this piece. It's been a pleasure to make this piece on the band at AB, on this episode of AB to Z. Thank you for watching.
We now go to a very important PSA.
Recycling is an important part to keeping our environment clean. Animals have been dying due to people littering and not recycling. Even though recycling has increased 89% since 1990, this number can still improve. Another way humans can help keep our earth clean is composting. This produces cleaner soil that is self-sufficient and is a healthier way for crops to grow. Overall, reducing, reusing, and recycling harmful substances can lead to a cleaner lifestyle. Just remember to always recycle and compost to keep our environment healthy.
Recently, two of our classmates, Matthew and Owen, interviewed students and faculty around the school about their thoughts on the new advisory schedule. We now present a news story about the new Acton-Boxborough advisory schedule.
Recently, Acton-Boxborough has made some large changes to the advisory program, and it revamped the whole concept. Listen to Mrs. Anat for some new details.
So advisory has had many different goals over the course of its time here at Acton-Boxborough, and we met as a group and talked about what role we really wanted advisory to have, and it was around community building and making connections with staff and peers together, and so all of our decisions that we made about this year's structure were around that.
I went around the high school to get some student opinions about our story.
One thing that I like about advisory is the teachers are chill.
One thing I like about advisory is the community building that we do between different grades and getting to know people.
I like advisory because it shortens my class time.
My favorite part of advisory is that I get to meet new people.
Our teacher gives out candy, so I get to have a lollipop there.
However, students had many revisions that they would like to make to the advisory program.
What we need to do is either make it shorter and have more time to study.
For example, this week we had some goofy questions that, and there's 5 of them, and they all kind of meant the same thing that people had to answer.
To be honest, no problems are solved in advisory at all. It's just a waste of time. It's kind of like you go to a landfill and you take taxpayer money and you just throw it in.
Wow, what fascinating and interesting stories. I sure learned a lot from watching those videos.
Well, that'll just about do it for this episode of AB to Z. I'm Will McDonald.
And I'm Rohan Manikandan. Thanks for watching.